Yeah.
I don't care how good you are in anything. You don't have discipline, you ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline, because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
You need discipline, because motivation's not there every day. I'm missing motivation most days.
Through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition.
The discipline can seem like it's your worst enemy, but the reality is, discipline is your best friend. It will take care of you like nothing else can, and it'll put you on that path.
When you want to quit and give up, your why is going to give you that edge you need, that advantage you need to make you believe again, to make you get up when you got up 3 times and you say, I'm not getting up no more. Your why. You don't get here by quitting when you're tired. You get here by quitting when you finish, when you're done. You don't stop when you're tired. You stop when you're done. You stop when you complete it, when you execute it. Execution is worship. And so I execute for my mom. I execute for my grandma. I execute for my sister. That's why I can't quit and give up, even though I get tired just like everybody else.
It has to be real. It has to be something that you've done to make it really work.
I'm doing something I don't want to do. Every time I start doing things I don't want to do, I grow.
Clear, achievable goals, and then break them down into daily tasks. Every day, no matter what, make sure you complete these things.
Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Over time, what once felt like a monumental effort will become second nature.
Not just in the specific area you're focusing on, but in all aspects of your life. Your newfound discipline will spill over, creating a positive domino effect that can lead to incredible transformation.
It's the disciplined ones who achieve true freedom in life. When you're disciplined, you gain control over your time and choices. Instead of being at the mercy of whims or fleeting desires, you make deliberate decisions that align with your long-term objectives.
You're a beast until it's uncomfortable. You're a beast when the weather is right. You're a beast when coach tells you to do something that you're comfortable with. You're a beast when you play in your position. You're a beast when everything is going right. But sometimes stuff starts happening where it's uncomfortable and you start to break. You start to bend. You start to fold. You got to learn to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. It ain't always going to be the way you like it. It's not always going to be comfortable. The conditions ain't always going to be perfect. But if you want this, if you really want this, you got to learn to sacrifice. You got to learn to give up to go up.
You'll notice that tough or annoying choices start to feel good. Choosing to get up early, working hard on a tough task, or picking healthy foods, these things start to feel like they make you stronger, not like chores you have to do. You begin to enjoy these challenges, understanding that every choice is helping you become more disciplined.
It's the strongest form of self-love. It's ignoring something you want right now for something better later on. Discipline reveals the commitment you have to your dreams, especially on the days that you don't want to. The future you is depending on the current you to keep the promises that you made to yourself yesterday.
The path to strength and health and intelligence and happiness.
Same goes for discipline. Doing the thing in spite of not wanting to do the thing is discipline.
Motivation is crap. It's people right now, maybe listen to this, they'll be motivated to go run. If it's cold somewhere where they're at, a lot of them shut that door, go back inside. That's motivation. It comes and go as how you feel. If you and your wife are good, if you and your kids are good, if you're good at work, you're motivated. I like a motherfucker whose life is imploded, ain't got shit in life, and says, I still gotta get after it today, man.
I don't know about you, but I don't encounter many people who are completely committed to their craft. In our society where it is very unpopular to have a sickening, completely committed, dedicated work ethic, it's not the norm.
It can't stop me because it's a vision that I have and it's goals that I have that set out for myself that I got to get there no matter what.
Your attitude has a giant effect, not just on your life, but on other people's lives around you.
To do anything successfully in life, you've got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. And if you want it that bad, if you're willing to give it that much,
Everybody wants to sit on the couch. I don't want to go outside. It's cold. I don't want to do this. It's hot. Like, you've got to do things that you don't want to do because you show your body that your mind is the boss. Your mind is telling your body what to do, and then you have control.
Anything you want can happen and become a reality.
So there's 1,000 ways to say this, but listen, because I'm only going to say it once.
Keep repeat. The consistency is the most difficult thing.
Just doing it every day.
Yes, every day.
Do you ever wake up and you say, I don't want to do it today?
I fight against that. You know, it's the big challenge. It's when you're not willing to do something, but you have to do it. This is the main point. This is why I say our mind, it's a box of surprises. And
if I'm running on a treadmill and I get to mile 9 and I get complete cramp in one of my legs, and I know I've told myself I'm going to run 10 kilometers today, he goes, I will have to limp the last mile, even if no one's watching, because I can't let the demons in. And if I let the demons in, they'll show up in the 11th round of a championship fight when there's 50,000 people watching me in the audience. And I know deep in my self-story that I'm the type of person that quits when things get hard.
Taking the easy road and leaving discipline behind. Think about them.
I'm trying to get to where I'm going, and ain't nobody gonna stop me or whatever going on, the talking and...
Hard work works. And you know what's great about our culture, y'all? The world's lazy. It's a good thing for you and me. Everybody will talk about it. Everybody will post about it. But nobody wants to roll up their sleeves and just go get it. And so what that means,
you have to dream the dream. You have to see it when nobody else sees it. You have to feel it when it's not tangible. You have to believe it when you cannot see it. You gotta be possessed with the dream. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for somebody to feel sorry for you. Yes, it's gonna be hard. Yes, it's gonna be difficult, but you can do it.
And I'm telling myself, it's 3:30 in the morning, and I'm looking at my shoes, and I want to go out there and run 30 miles. I have to, in that second, in that moment of this self-talk, my mind saying, you gotta find more, you gotta find more. I once again calm down, go back into my mind, in my cookie jar, I call it, and I have to reflect back on the shit I did to get here. And that becomes my self-talk. Self-talk does not work unless it is real. Most of us lie to ourselves in this self-talk. It doesn't work.
it's that kind of focus and self-control that leads to real accomplishment and fulfillment. It frees you from the chaos of an unstructured life. It helps you manage your time and energy effectively, allowing you to focus on what's truly important. We're disciplined. You're not constantly reacting to life's distractions, but proactively building the future you want.
You're not going to always have a supporting cast with you. Not everyone is going to stand with you. Not everyone is going to support your ideas or your dreams. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you just got to stand alone. You got to go after it with your own mindset. You have to be truthful to who you are inside. Sometimes you just got to do it alone. When you're standing on your own 2 feet and the storm is coming in, you still got to stand. When it starts to get too tough for you and you don't seem to have the mental capacity to fight through the pain and the agony, you still got to stand.
You have to learn to be, you have to be your best self when you're least motivated.
My philosophy is, why be normal when you can be the best? I don't want to be normal. I want to make the difference. So everything I do, I want to make the difference. Because when I make the difference, I'm the best.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking.
To get through where I became, to get through where I'm at now, there's nothing but pride I have for myself that I can't really show people. Because I have this face that they see like, are you happy? What's wrong with you? I'm driven. I'm obsessed.
Your biggest enemy is you. People don't understand it's you against you.
Hold you back. Don't let the losses keep you down. Because if you're down, how would you understand what it means to get up?
Listen to me. Listen to me. You have no idea the feeling that I have going through my body right now, man. This is a dream come true.
Sun don't stop for nobody, man. Sun don't stop. Sun gonna be up in the morning regardless. That sun is gonna be up in the morning regardless of how I feel and how depressed I am. The sun is gonna shine in the morning, and at nighttime the moon gonna be there, and you're gonna look up. These days gonna keep going by. So do you let the days go by and look up and you done wasted a year doing what? Hard work brings great rewards. This is a reminder of the hard work and dedication that I put into everything that I've done. I'm not content because I know where I came from and I don't ever want to go back.
A lot of times I'll be in a 200-mile run or something like that, and I'm all jacked up. Body's broken, mind's broken, spirit's broken. I start to say, what if I can pull this off? When I first walked into the Navy SEAL recruiter's office, he looked at me and said, there's only been 35 African Americans in 70 years make it through. You know what I said to myself? What if I can be the 36th? It's the what if I can pull off a fucking miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be? And just me talking about that, I have the hair going up on my arms because it makes me just like, what if?
Do something hard one time. The emotionally mature man uses discipline to do something hard 1,000 times.
But I never would have discovered what I'm able to do right now if I wasn't willing to take a chance. You've got to be willing to do that. You've got to believe in yourself.
All right, I want to change the world. I want to make the world a better place. I want to fulfill the promise. I want to make a difference. I want to be different for my own life. I want to be successful. How do you do it? One day, one choice, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 second, one decision at a time.
It is time for you to show up. It is time for you to show out.
When you're serious about changing, all of you need to do, you don't have to tell anybody you're changing, just do it.
Together, reading a book, meditating, something. But this I can't catch a break is not helping anybody, and it pushes everybody away from you.
And I look at it as like a rock, and you find this rock, and that rock is you. And every day you fight not wanting to get up, and you do anyway. You chip another piece off that rock, and every day you eat the right foods, and every day you go to train, you train harder and harder and harder and harder. And you get up earlier, and all these things you do to start forming yourself. You're chipping another piece of that rock off. Before you know it, you have this beautiful piece of artwork that you built.
A friendly reminder that in 3 generations, everyone who knew us will be dead, including the people whose opinions stopped you from doing what you wanted all along. Imagine that someone you know achieves every dream and hits every goal they have. Years later, they get old and die. 2 years after that, how much do you care? About as much as everyone else will if you accomplish your goals and dreams. Do it for you.
Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. And a lot of times you have to learn to perform without motivation. You have to learn to perform without purpose. You have to learn to perform a lot of different things. And that's what people think. They think I need to have this motivation to work out, to study, to be better. So if they don't have it, they just don't do it.
You got to be the master of your mind. You got friends that like to party, right? They like to go out. They like to drink and go out to the clubs. You're around those people, all of a sudden you start feeling that little urge. And you got other friends that are disciplined. They are going to go to the gym early in the morning. They make you want to work out. If you aren't careful, you can slide down the path of least resistance, the path to weakness.
Who are you on those days you don't want to do things? It's easy to conquer when it's good weather.
And there will be obstacles that you must face. And for each obstacle, it will represent something about you. Your greatest victories, your greatest failures. But nevertheless, you must rise above it. And you must conquer every obstacle that comes your way. Are you strong enough? Are you willing enough? Do you have what it takes to do what's necessary to adapt and overcome?
See, the big dogs, they won't give you the opportunity. You're gonna have to take it. You're gonna have to sleep in your car. You're gonna have to sleep on that floor. You're gonna have to cry them tears. But we're not gonna be crybabies. We're gonna be lions. You know, when a lion is injured, when a lion is bleeding, he licks his wounds and he keeps walking.
No problem is permanent. Or you start thinking the problem's pervasive because I haven't handled my finances, my whole world's over. Or because my relationship's bad, my whole world's over. Or all this is happening because there's something wrong with me. Your life is bigger than that. People need a new perspective, and you can't do it by just sitting and thinking.
Doesn't it really astonish you that you are this fantastically complex thing? And that you're doing all of this and you never had any education in how to do it? You never learned, but you're this miracle? It's one of the great wonders of life.
Versus just saying, like I used to, I'm just not good enough. If I'm not good enough, we always say that shit. I'm just not good enough, and then we try something else. I'm gonna fucking make myself good enough. And that became my mentality. I'm gonna make myself good enough. And so I'm misunderstood a lot, but that's all it came down to. I made myself good enough. And the days I couldn't run that far, the next week, I would do 2-a-days. So on the running, if I ran a quarter mile, I wait a couple hours, it'd haunt me, bother me. I try to run a half mile next time, same day. You can do more than this. If I had to walk, I had to walk. It just became just a process of grinding and grinding, and grinding is not even a good word for it.
So while you fighting and you clawing to get to the next level, let me tell you something. If you're a person out there trying to buy your way to the top, I want to let you know something, king and queen. You can't buy a legacy. This you must earn.
Most of us have been conditioned not to take a risk. People ask me all the time, what does it take to be happy? And I always tell them it's really simple. One word, progress. Progress equals happiness. If you keep growing, you're gonna feel alive. And if you keep growing, you're gonna have more to give.
Doesn't take any motivation, any drive in order to stay down there on a low level. But it calls on everything in you, ladies and gentlemen. You have to harness your will to say, I'm going to challenge myself. Sometimes I have to pull myself out of bed and say, come on, Les. Things I know I should do, I don't do. Things I shouldn't do, I do. I found that the biggest enemy you have to deal with is yourself.
If you're willing to endure, to hang in just a little bit longer, give just a little bit more, if you're willing to put all of yourself into the task before you, you may just be amazed at what life gives back.
A good word for it. And just going further and further. And then when I got through running, I'll go to the bike. I go to the pool. If I got tired somewhere, my legs were tired, I go to the gym. And I developed this crazy workout where I was doing volume, like 200-300 reps of like very lightweight. People always say, how come you don't have any like loose skin? My workout routine in the gym became sick. I gave everything. I gave everything to who I am. And that's why people, I don't believe that. Don't believe it. I gave everything. And when you give everything, man, you have no regret. People didn't understand me. People don't understand me now. I don't give a
There really are only two macro level motivators that we have in life, and that's pleasure and pain.
But discipline is the thing that you need. What would you tomorrow want you today to do? You tomorrow would want you to keep that promise to yourself.
There has to be something. This is what I'm talking about now, because this isn't a hack. This has to be in you. Something in you has to wake up. And usually the only person that can wake it up is you. Sometimes you can read a David Goggins book because I was all this shit and then a lot more of up. But if you don't have a little flame, just barely, you're done.
It's a lot easier to sit around and make a list of what you're going to do in the future. What's easier? It's easier to take out a pen and a piece of paper and write things down. And so people will substitute that action for the action that will actually change them and make them better and move them closer to that version of who they know they can become.
The reality is when you do things that are easy in life, you don't value them as much. When you do things that are difficult and that require you to dig really deep, then you value them more. It's easy to quit. It's easier to try something that's already been done before. It's harder when you don't know what the end result will be. It's harder when you face the uphill challenge.
When you want to achieve the highest goal of all time, you are going to have to learn how to get your ass kicked all the way up that damn mountain. If I want to be way up here, it's going to take a bunch of small, micro failures along the way. But you have to understand that that is part of the process.
Your current situation is not your final destination. There's more to your life. And I know right now it's hard for you to believe that, but I need you to believe it. You're more than your struggles. You're more than your pain. I know you feel like nobody understands you, nobody gets you. I know you feel alone and isolated. So I want to tell you, I'm proud of you for not giving up when it's so easy to.
I know what darkness looks like and what has to come out of your fucking soul in the darkest of times. I know what it feels like to be alone with no motivation, no drive, no passion.
Low life living, low risk living. This God said, if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. And if you cannot become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there?
It doesn't matter how many statues, Oscars they give you, or Emmys, or how much money you have in the bank. We've all seen people have all those things, and I get the phone call because they're depressed, or somebody commits suicide in that area. So it's really an inner game, and I think that's what's missing for us today. Everybody's focusing on the outside world, and hell, there's a lot of things in the outside world you'll never be able to control. You can influence, but you can't control it.
But if you are able to get up every morning, have no passion, no drive, no motivation, and still get up with that kind of fire, you will be successful in life. I guarantee you that.
The darkest place someone can be is standing still. The darkest place someone can be is when they are alive, but they are not living. The darkest place someone can be is when they are no longer making progress.
You can't avoid the peaks and valleys in life. They say you can't avoid the peaks and valleys in life. Life will always have the ups and downs, so make peace with it.
How hard are you really working?
Everyone talks about the destination, but very few people talk about the journey. That's where the iron is forged. In the monotony of doing the right thing day in and day out, your part of the deal is to keep showing up for yourself, to stick around and see what happens when you really go all in. Don't just settle for mediocrity. Just hold up your end of the bargain and watch how life will turn in your favor.
Don't be offended if nobody else believes in you. You believe in you. You start making good choices. You start making good decisions.
If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl.
Some of you don't even realize you have unfinished business. You need to go back where you left off with a new perspective. Go back to the gym. Go back to the drawing board. Go back to the business. Go back to the relationship. Go back to the burning building. You have unfinished business. All you got to do is show up with a new game plan and a new perspective. You got unfinished business.
You have unfinished business. You got work to do. Let's go. I need you to hear me loud and clear. How you see this thing is everything. You cannot change the past, but you can change your perspective about it. You gotta see this thing differently. Stop complaining about the divorce. Stop complaining about the job loss. Stop complaining about the relocation. Your viewpoint is your advantage. Thank you for breaking up with me. Here's what you did. You opened up another opportunity for somebody else to come into my life. Thank you for firing me. You gave me an opportunity to explore entrepreneurship. I'm not bitter, I'm better. Perspective is what changes the game.
I believe people who think this way don't know what it's like to push yourself to the limits. Don't know what it's like to work your absolute best, give everything you have, sacrifice, commit, work hard, and that feeling of growth, of progress, of even reaching a milestone in your journey. How amazing that feels.
Consistency is even rarer than talent or enthusiasm. Every January 1st in the gym, rock open. Everyone's keen to do something. They've got these New Year's resolutions. They're all enthusiastic. And some of those people will be talented. But how many of those people end up being consistent long term?
death is not waiting behind that door right now. Every second, you are between life and death.
Everybody wants increase and abundance and lifestyle change and new zip codes and new area codes, but you only read once a week and you only work out once or twice a month. And so the reason why you don't have what it is that you see, the reason why what's in your head is not in your hands, it's not your reality, it's because your perspective opposes your potential. You don't have it because you don't see the value in it.
But what happens even if you get it or you don't get it? Like, do you have the ability to accept what you don't understand? Can you handle when things get off course? I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, man, I'm 8 games away and God is redirecting me. And I'm like, God, just let me get to the NFL, then redirect me. Like, let me get the contract, then redirect me so I can help my family. And I thought it was over after football got redirected. My life got redirected 2-3 more times before I even fell into my purpose and my mission and what I was supposed to be doing. It got redirected 2-3 more times. I'm thinking I'm gonna be a coach. Just like every guy when he finishes the game, and I'll just coach.
Everybody got a story. That's how I view life. Everybody done been through something, right? Everybody's gonna encounter something. And so I never looked at speaking, sharing. I never was the guy like, oh man, this happened to me, let me go share with the world. I was like, nah, figure it out. Like, pick up the pieces, move forward, and figure it out. And so when people would say this, I would be like, nah, I'm not trying to speak. Like, I don't want to speak.
You want it that bad. If you're willing to give it that much, you get a big piece of what you want. In life, dreams do come true. Anything you want can happen.
Show me somebody that hates to work out, and I'll show you a man that almost lost his life, and the doctor said, if you don't work out, you'll die. One sees it as cumbersome. One sees it as a problem. Another one sees it as a privilege. He sees it as his second chance, his new lease on life. That I have to work out. I get to work out. I get a chance to live a little longer. So one person sees the gym as a prison and another person sees the gym as a passport. One man came within inches of losing his life and another man has never come within 100 miles of losing his life, and he only works out twice a month.
And I always tell a story about when my faith was fortified and my life went to another level, was the only thing I had at that moment was a prayer and a book. Like, God, are we really moving to the point where I can get up in Atlanta, Georgia, look at my wife, don't know nobody in Chicago, don't know nobody on Oprah's staff, and look at my wife and say, I'm going to meet Oprah. I got a certain level of faith that I'm gonna meet Oprah. Like, at a certain point, like, what is it really about? Like, and I know the initial reaction when we go through things is to say, man, why did this have to happen to me? And this is an honest reaction. Because sometimes good people go through some crazy stuff. At a certain point, you're gonna hit something that's gonna test that level of faith. And my definition of commitment was always staying true to what I said I would do long after the mood that I've set it in has left. He said, now I don't know what's gonna come out of it. I don't know, book club, show. I don't know about any of that. He said, but I just wanna make sure I tell you what just happened never happens.
I believe that sincerely, and I'll die on that thought.
What you want to do, if you have failure in life, something didn't go right, you want to have the ability to look inward and say, what did I do wrong? And a lot of people don't have that inner strength. But if you want to be successful, if you want to get ahead in this world, you have to develop the skill. You have to be able to look at yourself as if you were somebody else, as if from the outside, and say, here's how I could improve. Here's what I did wrong the last time I did it.
Everything that you are, everything that you're becoming, is a resilient pad of growth. On that pad is a launch. That's where you take off. That's where you find out what you're really made of. It's not about waiting until the end and one day you'll go after it. Make today day one. Today is the day that I decided I wanted to be great, so I'm going to do it. I decided I want to go after my goals, after my dreams. That's the mindset that you have to have, because today is the day you were given breath.
You know, there comes a day, man. Everyone's gonna have this day. There comes a day where being average, being mediocre is just sickening to you. It's just sickening. It makes you want to throw up. because you've seen people with far less talent than you as you're growing up with them.
Like, am I gonna stay true to my beliefs and my core and my essence of who I am as an individual? Even if I get a paralyzed right arm and hand, am I gonna stay true to it? Even if my little career that I thought I was gonna have disappears, am I gonna stay true to it? Even if one day I'm in a football game, the thing I love to do, the thing I've been practicing my whole life, and in one moment it gets wiped out, am I gonna stay true to it?
You may be average, you may be ordinary, but you have the opportunity every single day to make extraordinary decisions. And what you do today will determine your future. The future is very expensive.
Get up, work hard, put some effort into what you want out of life, because all you have is you. All you have is what you have inside. Don't wait for somebody to tell you what to do. You know what you need to do. Get out there and get it done, because that's ultimately what it's going to take. You have to have the courage, the will, and everything you have inside to get to the level and beyond the level you want to be.
There's enough fire inside of you. After everything you have been through, you've got to be able to see your value. Others have failed. Others have gone. Others have missed their moment. You must accept this truth that you were born for such a time as this, and that at this very moment, all you have is all you need.
You have to be willing to understand that you have to work day in and day out and be the best human being, the best person you can be. And through it all, the good and the bad, you have to stand strong. You have to understand there is a significant balance to all of us as long as we are in this world. But you got to do the very best you can to get through it, and to be strong, and to be productive, and be as successful as you can possibly be.
He kept getting up and getting up. I saw Trump do the same thing. I saw a lot of these guys I admired in business do it. And that's what it takes. To do anything successfully in life, you've got to want it as bad as you want to breathe.
Because when it's all said and done, when this is all over, you are still the only one that is left standing. Ladies and gentlemen, when you get to a point in your life and you feel that you have hit the end of the road, when you feel that you don't have the strength to carry on, then you have to find another source of power and strength. Wherever your mind is right now, if it's not building you up, if it's not making you better, if it's not making you stronger, you have to disconnect it. Learn to walk alone sometimes. Learn to be strong when you need to be strong.
How did you dream before you got hurt? I want you to start thinking about all the memories that you wanted to build, the stories that you wanted to tell. But for many of you, defeat has traumatized you, and it has left an image in your head, and this is why you won't go after it. I want you to erase the face of defeat and embrace the process.
No one's coming to fucking save you. This is you versus you. Get out of bed.
And sometimes you just got to stand alone. But being alone doesn't mean that you are all by yourself. It means that there's still something connected to you.
You have that kind of attitude. The car's repossessed. Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day, and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
The most important question to ask is, what pain do you want in your life? What are you willing to struggle for? Anything worthwhile is going to require some degree of pain and struggle. So if you're oriented toward the pain and the struggle, you're probably going to be more aligned with what you're capable of accomplishing.
When all of that noise is gone, it's quiet, and it's you against you, and now all those endorphins are gone, and I promise you made about getting up early and getting after it to go lose weight, study harder, guess what? It's a lot harder now. That repetition becomes a lot harder now. You have to learn how to get up and do. You ain't got no fucking 5K, no 10K, nothing. Nothing exists. Your life sucks. You're in the dungeon. But guess what, motherfucker? I'm still going to get it.
You have some unique qualities that are attached to you, but do you have the ability to wake them up? We all have unique gifts. We all have special talents. We are born to do great things. Not everybody is going to stand with you. Not everybody is going to support you. Not everybody is going to be by your side. So when you're standing alone, make sure you stand with a pure heart, with a great mindset, with faith, with understanding that you do have something that you must do. Being alone gives you power from time to time.
It's easy to give up. You know,
Hell
it's
yeah.
easy. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm done. I ain't going.
Oh yeah.
I ain't gonna keep going.
Yeah,
I don't feel like going to work. I'm done.
Yeah, man.
It's easy. It's very easy. But what's hard is going, yo, yesterday I got nothing from working as hard as I could. Nothing happened from that. I'm gonna do the same thing again today, but I'm gonna try to go harder. That's the hardest thing in the world. To get up every day and give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying. That's a real grind.
Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling time to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a to-do list for the thing isn't doing the thing. Telling people you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Messaging friends who may or may not be doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Writing a banger tweet about how you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on yourself for not doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on other people who have done the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on the obstacles in the way of you doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Fantasizing about all of the adoration you'll receive once you do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how other people did the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading this essay isn't doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing.
I want to be uncommon amongst uncommon people. I wanted to be the guy. I don't care if you fucking like me. I don't care if you don't understand me. I didn't give a once I went through this journey, this path of life, you ain't got, there's a whole bunch of guys that don't like me. I don't give a fuck. I'm a warrior. A warrior is a motherfucker who says, hey, I'm here again today. I'm here again tomorrow. I'm gonna be here the next day. I'm 50 years old. I'm still getting after it. It's a person that puts no fucking limit on what's possible. Every day I wake up and I don't want to do some fucking shit. I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be a bitch today?
Some moments in life, the decisions you make on a moment-to-moment basis that add up to be the guy or not the guy. Tonight, I did something, that I feel more of a guy. For me, who I am, my guy.
I'm telling you it's worth it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you it's worth it.
Yeah.
And you know what? You actually know it's worth it. That's why you're asking this question. You know it's worth it. You know it's worth it to have discipline, but you think there's an easier way. Yeah. You think that it's something that people have. You think that when Jocko's alarm clock goes off, it's like, oh, just like my father taught me, I rise and I shine. No. It's like the pillow feels soft and comfortable. Yeah. And the alarm clock is banging on my head and I don't like it. Yeah. But you know what? I know it's worth it to get up and get after it. I know it's worth it, and you know it's worth it.
Do what you in love with, what you interested in. Sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do so you can live like you want to live. So if it's going to help you reach your goal, even if you don't like it, do it anyway.
Discipline is often misunderstood as a way of restricting freedom, but in reality, it's the exact opposite. It's the key to unlocking your true potential. It frees you from the whims of momentary desires.
So you do it when you feel like it, and you do it when you don't feel like it. When you get up and feel refreshed and happy, you do the work. When you get up and feel like you do the work. When you get up and it's cold and dark and miserable and everything's going wrong in your life and your bills are overdue, you do the fucking work.
If you don't like it, do it anyway. What's your why? You need a why. Why do you need a why? Because some days you're going to look at that alarm clock and it's going to say 6, and 6 is the time you wake up, and you're going to look again, it's going to say 6:05, and you're going to say, I don't want to get up. But that why is going to say, push yourself, get up. Your mama needs you. Your daddy needs you. Your children need you. Get up. Your why is going to push you when you can't push yourself.
Consistency, man. That's the name of the game, bro. Don't get much simpler than that.
The bike got easier. I was able to run more. I went from like 1 mile. 1 mile is a great accomplishment. 2 miles. And then from 2 to 3 was a big one. Then I went from 3 to 6. And then they have a warning order that they give people to get ready for buds. And the whole thing was running 6 miles 5 days a week. And that was my goal. And so I failed. I go back to scratch. I use some positive motivation. I have one day where I'm fucking defeated. But I started realizing this is part of the process. This is part of the journey. I had to realize this is part of my process.
And that's when you just got to say, you know what? I'm not negotiating with myself.
Yeah.
The deal was already made. Deal was made. When I set out at the beginning of the summer, I said, this is the training plan I'm doing. I signed that contract with myself. I'm doing it. You know, throughout that process, you'll start talking to yourself like, man, I think I need to, maybe if we, nope. No, this is non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah.
You have to learn to train your mind well beyond motivation.
You're out running on the track, working out, and you start talking to yourself saying, man, my knee is really sore right now. Maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I need to back off. You know, man, my lungs are burning. Maybe I can just slow down here. I'll do like an extra 2 sets tomorrow. You know, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Right? That sort of stuff.
Yes.
Like that stuff's dangerous.
Yes.
You don't allow any room for negotiation when it comes to the execution of the work that needs to be done. It's an automatic process that you make happen every day of your life. No matter how many issues you're having, no matter how you feel, no matter the weather. Whatever it takes, you just get it f***ing done.
A champion doesn't give a about how tired they feel, how sore their body is. They rise to the level of the challenge or opposition. They understand that greatness isn't achieved in moments of comfort and ease, but in the times of struggle and perseverance. Your mindset is what will separate you from everybody else. You think different. You study different. You work different. Stop having the debate with your lazy side. You know what needs to be done. So cut the crap and get to it.
The difference between people who talk about it and people who do it is one simple word: application. They hear it, and they don't just hear it, they digest it, and when they digest it, boom, they do something with it. It's your dream. If you wanted to have it, get your butt up and make it happen. If you wanted to have it, rise and grind.
If you set out and you say you're gonna do something, do yourself a favor and don't lie to yourself. Because that is the worst thing that an individual can ever do. You think you lying to your peers. You think you lying to your teacher. You think you lying to your coach. At the end of the day, when you look in the mirror, you lying to you.
The time has come for you to succeed, for you to believe, for you to stand tall, for you to understand that you got a mission, and your mission is not done yet. Today is that day. And when and if tomorrow comes for you, be even more powerful. Be stronger than you've ever been. Rectify in yourself. Believe in yourself. Keep that faith in yourself. Don't let the outside interference stop your growth. Don't let those that doubted you and said that you did not have it